Hello, KCIW listeners, and welcome to Curry Café, where we put together a panel of volunteers and guests who discuss various topics from whimsical and fun to more serious subjects.
Well, hello, everybody. This is Ray Gary, and I am the panel today. Rick has decided that he needs to take a day off, and we have one guest who will certainly fill the hour with wonderful stories about what it's like to be an entertainer your whole life. So I will now turn the microphone over to Bobby Joe, and he'll talk about himself. And knowing him, he will talk about himself enough that I can just go get a beer.
Right, I'm a legend in my own mind, right? Yeah. Well, it's such a pleasure to be on the show. I really do.
It's kind of an honor to have you. It is. So.
Well, it's I love the town. I just my wife and I have been here probably going on 4 months.
It couldn't be a friendly. In those 4 months, have you ever heard anybody beeping a horn?
I know.
No.
I mean, I walk and I walk a lot. I try to walk as much as I can out at Sport Haven, and I love to tell it because everybody's so friendly. You talk and you get to recognize them. They get to know you. And this one guy is a big old burly dude one day, and walking down there, and he goes, how can you be mad, upset? Because you're looking at the ocean, and those waves just whirl. He goes, I've got problems and everything, and I got to deal with it, and financial, all that. But here I am in this, and I go, brother, everyone's got problems, but that's why we come here. That's why I love it, because those waves will they just cut at you. They just work at you. Oh, you feeling bad? You're on the pity pot? Yeah, let me just hang around a little bit longer.
I call that strip there that they walk on a mall for older people. The teenagers hang out at the mall to meet people and to pick up girls or whatever.
Yeah.
If you're like 65 or above, then you fit in right in there. That's our mall.
Yeah. It's the town. That was one of the things I had mentioned numerous times about never have I been in a place that I've seen so many white-haired or gray-haired people, mostly white-haired people like myself.
Yeah. I was in something the other day. I don't remember what it was, and there was a couple in there had a little kid, a little toddler, and I'm thinking, boy, that's a rare sight around here. In my neighborhood, there's one.
Really?
I see them walking this little girl every now and then, and I have to, it's the only kid in the whole neighborhood.
Yeah, right. So everybody tries to spoil them and stuff like that.
Yes.
That's right. And the dogs, we got the little dog from the Humane Society, and so now we're proper because everybody and their brother has a dog out there.
Yes.
And you can't be out there without a dog,
No.
So I really enjoy that and stuff. And
dogs are a wonderful conversation starter. People will come up to you and want to talk about your dog. And sometimes I think that's okay, and sometimes I couldn't care less about your dog, and you don't care. Why don't you just leave me alone? Just because I'm walking here with a dog doesn't give you the right to come up to me and start asking me questions.
Well, that's your prerogative, right? Everybody, it's like showing the pictures, or me. I have a hot rod. My wife and I have this hot rod, and it's like showing pictures as a kid.
Oh,
well, check this out, and doodly.
What do you have?
I have a 29 Model A.
Oh.
For pickup with a flatty in it. It's like an old 50s hot rod.
Yeah.
It's got a chopped top, channeled. It's been extended a little bit. It's got an old 60s Merc motor in it with Ford flatty with a Merc crank in it.
Oh.
And it's got a little Isky cam in it. It just it's so wonderful and oily and sounding the 50s.
Are you involved with the car club here at all?
No, I'm actually was involved with when out from Rapid City, because that's where we came. We came out here because of my.
I have a Model T.
You do?
A 26 Model T pickup, and I find it to be an excellent place to get rid of excess money. If you've got a spare 20 in your wallet,
well, yeah,
that sucker will take it away in a second.
Well, that's it for the little time enjoyment. We were thinking about bringing that. In fact, I just put my hot rod up for sale back in Rapid City, and we were thinking about bringing it out here. And I said, well, it'd be cool. And you stroke the ego, because I'm sure there's not one that looks like this. It's the top. This guy that built it, he took a '56 Ford hood, and that's the roof on that thing. It's really done really well, and then like you say, I put a ton of money into it, had it rewired and did this and did that and painted blah 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 blah. And you're buying this, buying that, putting it in, and it's been in 2 parades and 2 car shows, and so I'm good.
I'm hoping to have mine running and safe for the parade. And when I say safe, a Model T, you took your life in your hands.
Yeah.
They called the brakes a suggestion. and that's not a joke. The brakes didn't stop the wheels, it stopped the transmission.
Really?
Yeah, and it basically slowed you down. Then you had to do a bunch of downshifting and pull the emergency brake.
So it's all restored then?
I'm sorry?
It's a restored one? It's not a hot rod? It's
actually never been restored. It's still in original good shape. I took the engine out and cleaned things up and put new valves in and that kind of stuff.
You got to show me that, brother. I'd love it. My dad and I built a 29 Model A 5-window business coupe back when I was like, 17, 18 years old, and from the ground up. Bought it for $35.
Oh,
this bloody thing for $35. But well, listen. So, yeah, we'll show that. But I came up here to play music, and so you good people have been so gracious to have me on a couple of the shows and stuff like that.
Well, you kind of make our microphones shine. People say, "Oh, Bobby Joe's on. Let's go listen to that stuff."
Yeah, let's hear this old toad.
But for those of you who haven't seen him, Bobby Joe is one of the premier entertainers that we have here in town. Not that the others aren't good, but Bobby Joe kind of, I think, stands at least a half a head above a lot of them.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. Well, I've just been at it for a zillion years, and I've kind of found my calling,
Yeah.
I play the old blues. I'm going to play a song for you that... it's playing on my wife's dad's guitar. It's a 90-year-old Martin guitar. It's the parlor guitar because it's not a full-bodied one, but it's still got that Martin sound. Got a gal who lives up on the hill. I got a gal who lives up on the hill. Many women come to see me, but baby, I love you still. She got eyes like diamonds, shine like Klondike gold. Got eyes like diamonds, shine like Klondike gold. When she make love to me, man, she feel me so small. Honey, you're so beautiful, you got to die someday. Honey, you're so beautiful. You got to die someday. So why don't we make love until you pass away?
That was amazing. I'm tongue-tied. To sit here and listen to Bobby Joe, watch him play this music is really, really, really amazing. I did notice something, though, in the beginning of this song that seems to be kind of a common thread for blues songs. All these guys had a gal that lives up on the hill.
You betcha. Have you noticed that?
The hills must have been filling of women.
I guess it was. Well, you know, a lot of those cats would steal the different lines, and put them in their songs.
Oh, of course, yeah.
You know, so you'd hear. So you learn that.
Yeah.
You can become a blues singer. I guess you learn about 6 or 7 different things, and
there you go. Just run lines from each one. Yeah.
But yeah, you know, I was like telling you earlier that my mom, God rest her soul, that she goes, "Oh, Bobby, you just have such a nice voice. You should sing country." And I go, "Oh, there's no way I want to do that." And I want to be a blues guy, you know, and all this said. Well, then the blues is wonderful, but then here now, since she's passed away, I have been listening to a lot of the old guys.
Yes.
And they had so much white man soul, you know.
Yeah.
They had the blues, you know, and so part of my act is a lot of these old tunes and everything. I try to do different things that not everybody plays, and it's I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. It's good because most of the people don't know if I'm doing it right or wrong.
Yeah, well, it sounds good. It doesn't. There is no right anyway.
Well, you try to make it yours.
I bet you Robert Johnson never sung the same song twice.
Yeah, and what a wonderful story about, you know, at the end of going, that that's what happens is these guys, if they get they'll find some old famous mentor or something, and the mentor wants to pass that on to them, so they just absorb it up. But then they've got that, then they put their shtick to it, and my goodness, you know.
That's kind of the Robert Johnson story right there.
Right.
He used to go around playing in bars and whatnot, and everybody saw him coming, and they'd go, "Uh-oh," because he wasn't very good. And then he went away for I don't know how long, and ran into one of those guys you talk about. And they, according to legend, they set out in the cemetery, and this guy taught Robert Johnson how to play, and he came back saying he'd met with the devil. Yeah, which was, for those people, probably a more realistic story. And I just worked hard.
Well, you know, one of my songs that I do is called "Got My Mojo Working." And you know what a mojo is? Yeah, because it had the rubies and wards off the evil spirits. So they're really, that's that Cajun shtick, you know, and boy, they believe that.
Yes,
and they're all.
Yes, and probably to this day.
Oh, well, for sure, you know. I had the pleasure. I was when I got out of the service, and I was raised in Southern California. I went back to Southern California, and then I went up. That my folks had moved up to Ogden, Utah, and I went up to Ogden, Utah, and hung around there and played. And then my blood father came into my life, and he lived 130 miles from New Orleans on the street. So I went down and visited with him about 2 weeks, got to know him. I came back, and then I decided, man, this is my chance. I want to do this. So I get a U-Haul trailer, get all my stuff that I had, and bonsai down there. It took me 3 days to get down there. And I just stopped at his place in Brookhaven, Mississippi, and loaded stuff up. And I kept on going because I'd had some money, and I went and lived on Bourbon Street for a month. Wow. And it was just such a wonderful experience because of, I was all fresh, all eager to do this, and I could play some, and especially the harmonica I could play. And but man, there'd be cats on the corner playing for change that would scare you that they were so good.
Yes.
And I can remember, I love telling this, that a guy told me there, he says, if you really want to hear the great players, go over about 3 streets over from Bourbon. Because Bourbon was commercial, and I was right by Al Hertz Annex, and you had Pete Fountain Place, and you had all these jazz places and stuff. So I did. One day and it was parallel, and I forget the name of the street. It was like about 3 streets over, and then you were out of the Bourbon, all the shim sham stuff. It was just like old
real.
town.
It was real.
Yeah. And we go in, and I found this place. It was in a whole old hotel. You walk down, and then you go in the door, and here's the light bulb, which is. But I went in this room, and man, these cats were playing in there, and you sit down, you get a beer for 35 cents and something, and the most phenomenal jazz playing in the world. I just going, people walk over your jaw, because you're, and they're playing for beans, playing for nothing.
Yeah.
But it was that spirit, the artistic bohemian spirit of. It was all about the art. It wasn't about the money. I mean, we'll live, I can live on bologna sandwiches if I get to play, with this.
That's the way it's supposed to be.
It really is. It really is.
I had an experience about, probably 15 years ago. I have a friend that lived in Key West, and my wife and I went down there to visit her, and, Key West people don't do the Key West thing, but we were... walking down Duval Street, hopefully finding somebody that could play decently, because a lot of them can't. And we heard on a bar off Duval Street, a couple of doors down, a band playing something sounded pretty good. And we went in, and they weren't good. They were really good. And it just so happened that night they were recording a CD. And like we were talking before about making a song your own, that's what they were doing, and they did a very good job of, even like Mojo Working.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, they didn't necessarily improve on it, but they changed it, and it worked. And so the next time I went back to visit my friend, she said, that's gone. And it turns out she'd been dating one of the guitar players.
Oh. During
a break, we were sitting with this very nice-looking woman, and the guitar player just came over and sat down and started talking to her, Like, I'm a guitar player. I can do that. And they did date for a while, but so she got a copy of that CD they were making that night, and she said they're a rarity in Key West, and they're valuable, I don't know, but I have it, and I'm keeping it.
Ooh.
And when I was doing my doo-wop show, I used to play some songs from it once in a while, but there's amazing things you find out there sometimes.
And the experience, it's all like you say now, that you have that in your mind, in your soul. Mm-hmm. You were there. You experienced it, and that's what I try to do with the performance. Is the people we're all at the same level. Yeah. I just happen to be the one that's the singing or the playing or whatever. But I'm no anybody else. I love to go to where this music takes you.
I have more than once gone and seen some of the old players, like Well, I don't think I put B.B. King exactly in this, but I saw B.B. King and
Wow, that would
Bo Diddley a number of times, and quite a few of the guys that you might call has-beens or not. To me, it was an experience just to be in the same room with them.
Oh, yeah.
A few years back, I was living in Tucson, and Willie Nelson came to one of the little casinos there in a room that I'm sure didn't seat 100 people. and we had seats like 4 feet off the rows off the stage, and I don't know if he's just having an off night or what, but at one point my wife said, I'd like to take that guitar and smash it on the stage, because he was not playing well.
Yeah.
And which is really bad because he plays really well.
Yeah, right.
And maybe he's not traditional or doing what a guitar player should do, but he sounds great.
Yeah.
And he was forgetting the words to songs and things like that. And I'm singing along with to myself, with Angel Flying Too Close to the Ground, which I've heard him say many times was his favorite song. And he's screwing up the words and going all over the place. Just to have been in the same room with him, I wouldn't care if he didn't even play the guitar. Yeah, it was like...
Well, that's it, because they, and there's life, there's the real thing, because the people put him up on a pedestal. Man, he's only just a person.
Yes.
And he has the gift, and he has given the gift to the world.
Yeah.
The songs and him and the performance, because you understand it. I love talking about Bob Dylan, as I never was I loved Dylan's songs.
Yeah.
But I wasn't real crazy about his voice, because I always looking at it, you have to have the right tonality and the phrasing and blah, blah, blah. Until I watched it, I've watched a movie here lately, but then a documentary about probably 15, 20 years ago. And I got it because he wrote those songs for him.
Yes.
And he's so bloody ass good with, of doing that, of singing those songs, because they're his songs.
Yeah, and nobody else does them as well, unless they completely, Neil Young took Watchtower and just went crazy with it.
Yeah.
It's a much better version. But like I say, he had the voice to do that. When Jimi Hendrix first started singing, he contacted his father and said something along the lines, "Don't be too embarrassed about my singing voice." But Bob Dylan is doing it, so I can do it. And there again, he has absolute perfect voice and the feeling for what he's doing, the songs that he wrote. So.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. This movie is the latest movie out. It's been out for probably a year or so, and it's very good. The guy that plays him and everything. And in fact, you were talking about how these musicians own stuff. Now I've done this. You've probably heard me do this song, and I've just always enjoyed it. And I love the way Dylan does it. I love the way that Van Morrison does it, and those two. In fact, I got turned on to it because of the Van Morrison way, but it was Van Morrison, but this.
That was great, and as you're playing it, I'm thinking that Dylan wrote songs like that because he lived that life. It wasn't in a fancy apartment or a house or something, writing songs about that. He lived that life. He lived in the whole Greenwich Village scene, and was when Arlo Guthrie and all these people were breaking in, and they were all walking around with their guitars over their shoulder. I used to when I was in high school, we used to go in once in a while. I lived down on Long Island. I thought we were really being daring because we were going to go in and go to Greenwich Village and just walk around and hang out and stuff. And it was quite an experience for us, because I mean, there'd be people sitting on the stoop shooting up and nodding out, and just all this. Holy cow! This life really. But what I didn't realize is that Arlo Guthrie and all these people were playing in these coffee houses. You know, I could have gone and seen them way back in the day. You know,
they lived it, like you said.
Yeah.
You know, and have the opportunity to experience that. I think I went when I was in the service. I was on submarines, and I ended up in New London, Connecticut. And we would come down to the Big Apple there, and of course I had to see all the different things in that Greenwich Village.
Yeah.
But I didn't see that part of it. This was back in the late '60s.
Okay.
And that was when you were.
I was earlier '60s. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
we were just high school kids. We didn't know anything, and literally that was like, holy cow! Look at that, because we lived on suburban Long Island, so it was quite an experience, and I wish I had had the knowledge to appreciate the experience. If only I knew that,
Well, but that's the thing, though. But you were there. You got to do it. I figured out that song because him and Joan Baez had a little fling.
Oh yeah.
And when she ended it, her song was. And Dylan's was, I think it was, It's All Over Now, Baby Blue, was his rebuttal.
Diamonds and Rust, I think, is one of the best songs ever written.
Yeah.
Joan Baez does it so beautifully.
Oh.
And do you know if that's a true story? I mean, did she actually get a phone call from him or what? I was just thinking about that the other day. And that's what the song was about?
Well, yeah. And she was, because they still connected it and stuff. And when she ended it.
Yeah.
And, of course, him being Dylan, and I tell you when it's over with, I mean, but, all that. It was, that's my favorite. I mean, that's the only one I could really do. And I had mixed emotions. I used to do it where it was a male, and then the girl was the deal. And I thought, I forget who the artist was. I heard that he did a woman song that made it popular. And I figured, well, if he can do it, I didn't forget who the guy was. But so I do it. I do it in first person that I'm the Joan Baez, the female that, hey, Diamonds Rust, you did this to me, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, that whole song, the music, the way, it's just, amazing how that thing is put together.
Yep.
Not to mention the words,
Yeah, and then you're so good at words.
Yes.
She hate, and he, because he was just, I saw another great one a guy that I really got into was Leonard Cohen.
Oh, yeah.
And.
Now, he was in the Village, too, at those times.
Yeah. And once again, didn't have a very good voice.
Not any voice at all, no.
But when you...
But it worked for what he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that songs, he was a poet.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think he got in the game he was in his 40s, his late 40s, when he decided to be a songwriter and but I saw a documentary, and he was saying how him and Dylan got together. And Dylan said, I can write a song in, 5 minutes or 15 minutes, And then he said, well, I can write one in 6 months or something like that. Yeah. And he was lying.
I read somewhere that he worked on Hallelujah for 7 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I read a thing about where that his kids says, God, please don't say anything about Hallelujah, because he would change it through the years.
Yeah.
It was such
that was the 7 years part.
It was 7 where it would go, well, okay, I like that. Well, no, I don't like that no more. So I wrote this one, But God, his songs, it's just so powerful, and all those cats, man, they were just so gifted. I do, yeah. But, it's just, the songs, those great songs, and to be a songsmith, I guess they call it.
Yeah.
Kind of a thing. And everything. So it's so fun to talk shop the music and like the experience of like that you've had that, maybe you don't play music, but yet you're still a connoisseur of music. And
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. If it's good, it's bad. Did it touch? I've had cats. I never forget. Because I really don't get in, because I'm always wrapped up in stuff and everything. It takes a lot for somebody to touch me, and I was playing music with a guy that he was in, he was part of was it Doobie Brothers or something like that, but he was in and out, doodly-doo, and he played, and man, he did this song, and it just touched me. I was just engrossed in it. And I told him that. And he goes, well, I think, Bobby Joe. But, I mean, it was just, there's performances out there. And like you say, the different people. And,
I just find creativity just fascinating. Like I said, I don't play an instrument. I don't know anything about playing or how it works or anything. But I say, like, who decided that now's when the guitar comes in and he plays this, and somehow they seem to do it on the fly. You must have seen from Woodstock. I'm trying to think of
Richie Havens.
No, that's another one.
That. Yeah, he
no,
just...
I can't think of the name. Santana.
Yes.
The song they did I can't remember the name of the song either, but that's like 9 minutes long. And I'm watching this thing, and okay, Santana's playing, and then, like, magically it goes over to somebody else, and then magically it goes over to the drummer who does like an 8 or 9 minute solo. And somehow somebody else in the band knew, he's done now, let's pick this up and do. And I've talked to band members about that, and they said, well, because that could not possibly have been rehearsed, that you do this as that. It was put together there. And they said, when you're in the groove, I said, that's the way it works. He was fickle.
It does. You go into it's really like a trance, because everybody gets subliminally, everyone's on the same page. And I've played when I just did it and stopped, but the whole band stopped.
Yeah.
Da-da-da-da-da. And so how'd they do that? Well, you just felt that you knew it was coming. That was I love telling the story. I was a part of an 8-piece rhythm and blues band, and it had the horns, it had a trumpet, bone, and sax, and B3 player, lead guitar, bass, drums, and then myself, lead singer with blowing harp. And once you got past all the egos and all the drama and everything, but you got that thing pointed to the right direction, I'm telling you, Brother Ray, that was the most strongest drug that you could ever experience. It it was so good. But then, of course, it ends at the end of the song. Then you're putting that one, well, you do this and you do that,
You mentioned egos. That has destroyed more bands probably than anything. When you put 4 or 5 people together that are very creative, and creative people can be really hard to deal with, and they all want theirs done this way or done that way. Crosby, Stills and Nash.
You get interrupting, but you get when they start becoming successful.
Mm-hmm.
Then there comes the problem.
Yes.
Because then they start taking it. They just take it. A good friend of mine that I saw Three Dog Night back in 69, 70. And that was just when they come out with, Easy to Be Hard and all this stuff. And I had that first album. But they were the hot ticket, and they were cocky, but they were so bloody good.
Oh.
Then they made zillions of dollars, and they were fighting, and the lawyers,
Yeah.
the lawyers are like this, and the lawyers are going yum yum yum. So it got to where the singers were each suing each other, and then the singers were suing the musicians. The musicians were suing this. I mean, it just, and of course those lawyers are jump.
Yeah.
They just ate it up, and it just destroyed it.
Yeah, I don't need you guys. I can do this
Well, that's
myself.
right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Every now and then they're right too. Sometimes somebody will break away from a big band and they'll actually work.
Well, but it's a thing. Well, like the Beatles, like Paul McCartney is Paul McCartney. I mean, he's just that gift, and all that.
The Beatles came out about 1963ish or
Something like that. Yeah.
And I was a big doo-wop fan at the time.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah.
And I don't know, there's people talk about these Beatles, and I'm listening on the radio, I Want to Hold Your Hand, and I think, what the hell is the big deal here? Because I was used to the doo-wop harmonies and things like that. I said, I don't even hear anything. And eventually I did have to give in to the fact that they were pretty good. I gave into that fact about 3 or 4 weeks ago. But they had great... When I used to do my show and I would play a Beatles song, I would always play an alternate song because I said, everybody does their music better than they do. But they had great lyrics, and there again, though, the egos got in the way. And then I remember Ringo Starr saying at one point, he says, well, I know we were riding high. I hope we lasted long enough for me to save up enough money to buy a beauty parlor or something.
Well, that's true because it just blows up, and you hear these cats. They when they went to Hamburg, Germany, and they learned their craft and playing the music and lived their lives together. They're brothers, they bonded, and when they come back they just like we were talking about the thing with the Robert Johnson. They come back, man. Those cats were bad to the bone. Yeah. I mean, they were pop, but they had it down.
Everything was right where it belonged.
Yeah, and but then you slap millions of dollars to each one of them.
Yeah.
And well, wait a minute here. Maybe I don't need this guy. I don't need that. I hear it like this, and it should be like that. And then that era, it finally goes. It comes to the end. That was it. Here's the block. It was do-doodly-do.
Yeah.
Now, what do these people do on? Look at George Harrison turned out to be a great songwriter and singer.
Did he write many songs for the Beatles?
Well, they wouldn't let him, I heard. I mean, he'd get one in every time, Tax Man. And every once in a while, he'd get one in, not like the Lennon-McCartney thing.
You know what the interesting thing about the Beatles breakup was? The first Beatle to have a hit record on his own was Ringo Starr.
Yeah.
He was
Oh, yeah. And just...
And I've also heard a friend of mine's a drummer, and he said that he saw this famous drummer from the 40s being interviewed on Johnny Carson or something like that. And he asked him who the greatest drummer was, and he said Ringo Starr.
Yeah. Well, that was it. He had a reputation. That's why they brought him in, because I guess the drummer guy was real good-looking guy.
Yeah,
he got all the girls, and he could play, but they needed...
He still worked at the post office.
Yeah, that's right. He just retired. He got his watch. But what's his name? The Brian guy that created him, really. He knew that they had to have that balance. They had to have that. And Starr, I read a thing that he did. He had impeccable rhythm, impeccable. And that's made the difference. That's what they needed. They created all the deal, and he's right there. Speaking of that, is, like I said, a real, real good friend of mine. And then, unfortunately, he's passed away, was Floyd Sneed, the original drummer of Three Dog Night. He was the big black cat, and he played the double bass drums, but he played polyrhythms. And the cat that brought him into it was Joe Sherman, the bass player.
Uh-huh.
And I had the honor, the privilege to play music with them, and I'd stop them. I said, well, that's the reason why you had all the hits, because when you get a drummer and a bass player playing like that, they're locked up, it's very hypnotic, and they were. See, so Joe could play to those polyrhythms, and that's what all those hits, and it went well. But then the singers didn't like Joe, because Joe was a good old boy from Texas, and he didn't put up with all this fancy-dancy being I'm so super thing, and he good old boy.
Uh-huh.
And so they got rid of Joe. The minute they got rid of him, that was the last hit they ever had.
Wow.
And it was and they tried to find a bass player that could play to Floyd, and they couldn't, so they had to get rid of Floyd. And now they have,
Oh, wow.
yeah, and other stuff is worn out. So that's, that chemistry of, like you were saying, like the Beatles. I mean, Ringo Starr they got rid of the one guy, and they couldn't believe that they got whatever his name was, Most or something, Mickey Most.
Was it Bobby something? Or?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But boy, they Ringo.
Pete Best.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Even better. All right. Okay.
We got the control room thinking they're part of the show here. I don't understand what this is. People just can't stay in their place.
Let me.
Everybody wants to be on the radio.
Let me do this. I'm gonna. I'll play a little harmonica thing.
Yeah, we've got about 15 minutes you can fill with
Right.
your music.
Well,
So where were you going to be playing in the near future that we could go see you?
let's see. Where am I? Well, I'm going to be at the Umbrella Farms here next month.
I've never been to that, and I hear all the musicians raving about it, so it must be a good gig.
Oh, cool, man!
Yeah, it's just 2 miles from my house.
It's 15 acres, and this young guy. I say young.
He's one of my neighbors. Yeah.
Yeah, really nice guy. But man, they just make it. It's so cool because it's an event. You go there, and it's just huge, and he's revamping it and getting things going. But he's brought in the music, and there's a little cafe, and there's this and stuff, and. But I'll be there. Let's see. I'm gonna be busking over at Kuntai here. I play a lot. Let's see. When is that? That's next. A week from this coming Saturday. 2 weeks, and I'll be there. I play a lot. I have the honor to play at these assisted living places. And stuff, and I'm playing there. I'm going to play at the Azalea Festival, and the big Azalea up in the your park up there, which has the dome like the shell, like the Hollywood Bowl.
Oh yeah. Do you at the assisted living places? You must find a lot of people who appreciate your music in that time period.
Yeah, it's so I finally got it, I've been real fortunate at my age that I can still play and I can still sing. And it's my thing is now sharing that. Before it was always trying to get there, to be something, be somebody. And I never quite could hang with it all. I've been gifted to be able to possibly have the talent to do it, but to hang on to it and play the game. And I don't do well with agents, booking agents and stuff. I like to say what I'm going to do, and then I go do it, as opposed to somebody booking me and telling me how to do it.
I went to a tribute show a while back. I hate tribute shows for the most part.
Too.
And I don't remember even who this guy was a tribute to, but anyway. And I think he only sang one or two songs by that guy, but he kept saying things like, "Remember record players," and I'm sitting there being insulted. I said, this guy thinks he's, what, I don't know, he's 50 years old or 30 years old. And hey, you old folks out there. And I felt like I was in an assisted living home with him. Now can I straighten your napkin for you?
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah, go there and do what you do. Yeah.
Well, and that's like you say, the tribute thing. Because, and people, they sound just like, okay.
Yeah.
When I started out as just a kid, a pimply-headed kid, I could sing something sound like Eric Burdon.
Mm-hmm.
So I was the big hot setup, and I get, invited to parties and stuff. I was singing like Eric Burdon. And, of course, my stroking my ego, a little kid, I wanted to be a part of it. And then I realized, well, the hell with that. All I'm doing is just making Eric Burdon mean better. I'm promoting his shtick.
Yeah.
So.
And often you go to those things and they're singing songs you're kind of halfway sick of anyway because you've been hearing them for years, and they don't do them as well. No, we had a band here that I think they've all scattered to the four winds. It was called Fleetwood Mac. They had a lead singer who still lives in the community, and then another female singer who also still lives, and they had great musicians. And they could have, no problem at all, toured as a tribute band anywhere in the country. They were really, really good. But they all had their own jobs, and they all had this and that. And nobody wanted to quit their job to go travel. But they were really amazing. And they were singing Fleetwood Mac songs, which you hardly ever get tired of. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah, because they're just,
But they talk about egos. There was a band with egos.
Well, you can imagine with all the money, you have all the money. They stick you in a room with all the cocaine.
And who is the star here?
Yeah, right. Which one? Who is it?
Yeah.
Because it was Steve. They were all just bloody good.
What was the guitar player's name? I can't remember.
Well, yeah, he's
the main guitar player wrote.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
And anyway, he was Stevie Nicks' boyfriend.
Yes.
And they had a band that they were doing the recording. And Mick Fleetwood approached him one day and he says, "I'd like you to come play with us." He says, "Well, I can do that, but you have to take my girlfriend too."
Yeah, and
wow.
Well, that's how it happens.
Yeah.
And she had the shtick, and she still does. Everybody still loves her.
Yes.
She's ornery and everything.
She can still sing.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
And it's just everything that. So anyhow, this harmonica, I've been playing harmonica for many, many, many moons. I got turned on to this back when I just got out of high school in '66. I graduated in 1966. And I was, and that was right when the Vietnam thing was going on. And I knew I was going to go in the service, And so I was in garage bands, and we were the best band in the garage, but it would change about every 2 weeks. New people would come on board, the other people leave. And one day this drummer calls me up and he goes, "Hey, man, you got to come over and listen to this." And I go, "What is it?" And he goes, "I'm not going to tell you. You got to come over and listen." And it was the Paul Butterfield Blues Band.
Oh, wow.
And when I heard that, I ran out and literally bought a harp for $1.25. I couldn't play a lick, but boy, I had all the moves. And I let Paul play on the album, and I just mimicked it and everything. But I just took to it, and I just couldn't leave it alone. And then I went into service, and I started buying albums, anything that had harmonica on it. And that's how I learned different positions. That I found out that you can play in different keys on the one harmonica, and I didn't know that. And then these different players. That's how I got turned on to a lot of these great, great players. Charlie Musselwhite and of course Butterfield and just the Siegel Shaw band. And I just loved it. So I stuck with it, and now I've just been playing for over 50 years. And
the Army would be a good place to do that too, because you could just stick it in your pocket and
that was it. I'd take it and drive people nuts, but myself, when I started, I was in sub school and in the barracks, and it was in New London, Connecticut, which is, like out in the forest and stuff. And I'd go outside and go out and look around and get in this little area here, make sure no one could hear me. And I could play one note and drive myself nuts. But then I go.
Uh-oh, now you got a song.
Then I go. And then it developed it. And I've been fortunate to have a good ear, so I was able to clean it up to make it where it sounded. Kind of a thing. And it just, it's been such a great, great friend to me because to me, it plays itself, which means that I'll start out with a tone, and then the tone gives me another idea instead of, I like when we started the show here and you were talking about how those cats could just go from one thing, Santana.
Yes.
Well, that's it. The note, and then something else comes onto, and you go from that note. It isn't something rehearsed. I just cannot play. I have a wonderful story. One of the finest harmonica players that ever lived was Sonny Terry, and he was a black guy. Okay. He was a black guy, and he was blind, and he was with Brownie McGee, which Brownie McGee was this really great blues singer, guitarist. And then Sonny Terry, he blew harp. So was Brownie McGee, Sonny Terry and Brownie McGee. Well, anyhow, they were in New York, and they were down probably in the black area there and playing the corner. Some guy drove by, a white guy drove by, and he heard him. So he come back and he listened to him. And he happened to be affiliated with a Broadway show called Finnegan's Rainbow.
Uh-huh.
And so he goes, God, these cats would be really good as a side thing to the play. So they hire him. So, okay, that I do, and they go to this. Well, they're rehearsing. Well, these cats never rehearse. They just play. It kind of goes like this. Okay, and they make it up as they go. So every time that they did it, the song, it would, Sonny Terry would play it different. And finally, the director goes, I'm sorry, and Mr. Terry, but you've got to play it like this because everything is arranged like that. And he goes, hey, man, I can't, I just play and everything. And then one of the guy that I think hired him leaned over and...
There's 1 minute left, or 1.5 minutes left.
Okay.
Yeah.
Leaned over and told him how much money that they were getting paid. He goes, hey, man, don't worry about it. I can play. The end of the story. So
it's like that, what's his name? Freeman, the guy that used to do the comedy records.
Yeah.
And he's got a piano player playing one note over and over and over again. And he keep breaking off into a blues riff, and I said, you have to play one. He says, I can't play one note, man. And Freeman says, well, if you don't play the music, you're not going to get paid. He immediately started. Okay, I get it. Anyway, we're down to less than a minute now. Any final words for the audience?
Well, thank you so very much, brother.
Oh, thank you.
It was just such a pleasure to really get to know you,
We enjoyed having you here, yes. Down to 28 minutes, or 28 seconds here.